Alrighty, guys, it's time to get into this week's budget review. Uh, I feel like there's a lot that's went on this week, but I'm feeling a lot better from last week's video. Things are actually looking like they're on the upslide. Whatever word you would use for that. So again, I am using the Hemlock and Oak Weekly, and it does have this really cool introduction part to it. Again, I have not made it to the self-reflection area. One day, guys, I will have a day off where I can actually sit and focus on this. But we have not done any changes to that. Again, the first goal of the year is getting all of those store cards down to a zero balance. Just again, having balances on those accounts takes away funds that could be used to pay down my debts. So, we're still marching right along, trying to get these paid down and out of the way so that we can stop talking about them. But I mean, you can see there's a lot of space to set a bunch of goals in here. Um, I've finally added the first habit. Again, the main habit that I've been working on is only charging what I can spend. I do like to take advantage of like the rewards and the perks and stuff from the credit cards. They're not all bad. The main trick behind them is only charging on the card what you actually have in your bank account. It took many years to build that habit. I guess I could add it on to here as well. But another one of the habits that I really do enjoy doing, which I know you have heard me speak about this before, but it is the saving $5 a day. Um, Simply put, like it stems from when I was trying to build my first emergency fund. At the time, I was trying just to even put like $20 back, $50 back, and I don't know if it was just a randomness of it, but no matter what I did to try to build a savings, it just didn't work, and I would end up taking from those funds. So like I would put $20 back on like Friday, and like that next Wednesday I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna use that money for this. So it didn't really work because I was still using the funds. So what I did is I kind of created like a little mini challenge for myself, and I was like, look, if I can spend $5 a day at a drive-through and think nothing of it, then why can't I put $5 back for myself? So this habit really did start with me just actively transferring $5 from my bank account to my savings account. I do have PNC, so they have a thing called Punch to Pig, and every morning I would wake up and it was the first task I had to do for the day, but I had to punch the pig and give it $5. The hardest part definitely was not taking from the savings account, but that's how I really built the habit of somehow or another you do get used to not having those funds. So what I do now is, since I'm used to not having the amount that I used to have, is that like every payday I just transfer the funds in. So if it's a 28 day month, which was February, I would put 70 in for each of the pays. 30 days is $75. And then, of course, the 31 gets a little tricky because you have a 75 and an 80, but you just adjust it with what pay period you're working with. I have not missed. I have been on a streak of this for probably 5+ years now. It's for some reason the only way that I could actually save money, guys. I don't know. It works, and I'm sticking with it. What they do with this habit cultivation is they ask you like the barriers that you face. What is going to make this difficult, And I did have to go back to like whenever I was first starting this. And the main thing was is if you do have a pay period where you have a higher amount of bills than normal, you'll feel the squeeze from setting this money aside. The other thing is overspending. And of course, making charges on the store cards, on the credit cards, because, you're going to be like, well, I can't take that money because I put it in savings, so I'm just going to charge it then. That doesn't work as well because, it adds up. So, that was another barrier. So I had to adjust my overall spending. And again, like once you do start seeing the amounts add up, you do want to spend that money. I don't know why, but like a thousand was the balance of where I finally didn't want to spend the money. I got excited that I was saving the money. But like up until, during that first year, I kept seeing like I had 200, I had 400, I had 600, and I was like, "Oh man, I could buy these things with cash." And for some reason, like once I hit 1,000, I was like, you can't touch that money." And of course, I had to because what I do save for the year, see, you save on an average 365 day, you get 1,825 for the year, and I roll that over and turn it into my emergency fund. And I mean, there are times of where you're going to need these funds. You are going to need it, hence the name emergency fund. Um, so yeah, it does sting a little the first time you do have to draw out of that, but the way I explained it to myself is like, look, buddy, you would have been putting this on a charge card, so the the effect of it is the savings are called savings, just because they save your butt when you need them. So that's my first habit that I added in there because, like I said, that habit's been going swimmingly well there. Of course, they give you this wonderful daily framework page. This has been probably the most beneficial for me for this year, and it's just because I was doing my budgeting after work, where we can see the energy levels are drained. I'm exhausted, and I switched this year to doing my budgeting early in the morning. Um, it's like one of the first things that I do now, and I actually do kind of get like excited when I go to work on this. So I don't know. Daily framework has actually been beneficial. The self-care activities, I do enjoy this because they want you to list. Well, they want you to list a self-care activity. I make it 3, but these are 3 things that I do during the day that actually don't really acquire, and require any funds. Um, and they do keep me busy, mentally stimulated, physically stimulated, to where like I'm not even thinking about shopping or spending money. It like reduces the boredom, all of that, where you need to doom scroll and buy things. So I did I do enjoy adding the self-care activities. And of course, I made a little vision board just as a friendly reminder that, budgeting just isn't all about the monies. It's not all about, the dollars and the amounts. It's about what do you want out of life? What do you want to do? What brings you joy? And basically, that tells you where to start allocating your funds so that you could get more of that stuff. So that's the whole reason for the vision board there. Again, guys, I do take quick breaks just for my voice, ease of recording, and of course, it helps me with the chapters here whenever we start uploading videos. So, we are going to take a quick break before we move into the next section. Alrighty, moving right along here. They give you the 2 years at a glance page. What I like to do with this is where I do my projected payoffs and I track how long it's taken me to pay each of these accounts off. Perks is definitely taking a lot longer than I projected, but that was my projection. If you remember, I keep where are they? I did my slowest of the slow payoff back here. Again, you could use apps and services like the Debt Payoff Planner app. I do have a link in the description. Basically, you punch in all of your information, your accounts, and that, and it'll give you a payoff plan. I've been using that for years, but this year I wanted to just see like the bare minimum, like how long is it going to take me to pay these stupid things off, and that's where I got these from, and it looks like I made a good choice. Because, the start of 2025 was not as I planned. There was just so many things going on in January and February that I could not have predicted. I was not expecting the washer to go down. I was not expecting to need a root canal. I was not expecting the transmission to blow. So, yeah, 2025 came in and was like, watch this. And so far we've been able to handle it. So this is good. This is good. It's not what I would have wanted, but we're still floating. So that's at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So it may actually take me to April to pay this stupid card off. But I don't know. I feel like things are starting to pick up now. So I don't know. I feel like good things are happening. Okay. We then move into this here at a glance page. I call this my dashboard. Basically anything that happens yearly I try to track on here, or well, yeah, we'll keep going with that for now. So like we have holidays, birthdays, I have all of those in purple. The car inspections, registration plates, the first year I had the driver's license renewal, so I put those in safety cone orange. For vehicles. We could see we had the transmission. I mean, my lord, guys. I also keep track of the credit score just to see like how what I'm doing does affect it. We could see we took a huge hit here, but I think that's because I did apply for a 0% offer for a balance transfer, and then I had to get the medical card just because of all the root canals and dentist appointments and doctor's appointments and blood work. So I wanted to make sure that I had a separate account for medical expenses, so it's not going on to the credit accounts that we saw earlier. Okay, so yeah, I did start tracking the medicals. Those are in blue. Taxes, of course, are in this wonderful green. Those are coming up, still waiting on paperwork. Any large amounts of monies coming in or out, so that would be the yellow, that's my insurance funds. What else are we missing on here? Okay, so what I was doing for the previous years is I was only tracking when I paid off what I call my focus accounts, the main credit accounts. But for this year, because like I said, like I was just planning on having that perks card paid off in January or mid-February, and I was like, what is going on? Like, why is this card so difficult to pay off? It's only like $700. Like, I should have had this thing paid off. And so I went back through and I was like, what happened in January? And it turns out I did pay a lot of things off. I paid the little mini dumpster off. I paid for the carpet scrubber. I paid the dryer with cash. So yeah, if I didn't pay those things off, perks would have got paid, because those actually, all three of those combined are more than the perks account. So yeah, we had a lot going on in January, so it kind of made me feel a little bit better, we can see in February I paid off the Amazon cabinet. So there are some of those funds. Again, the doctor's appointments doesn't really help. Again, those are still mystery bills, guys. I still have yet to get billed. I'm waiting on it. Root canal cannot be cheap. And then we move into March, like I still have to, I pay taxes. So, yeah, waiting on those forms so I can submit that and figure out how much I owe the IRS. We had the transmission, which actually wasn't as bad as what I was predicting, but we did get Discover paid off. Oddly enough, Discover was the one that I balance transferred, and there was like a remaining balance amount on the account, so I took care of that. So Discover is now a 0. So, like, I'm not getting the Focus account paid off, but we can see, like, there's a lot of things happening that's kind of explaining the resistance of getting the account paid off. So, again, moving along, they give you this quarterly pages. Again, I had no idea what to do with this. This is the first time I was using quarterly pages in a budget planner. So I was like, okay, let's track the progress on these accounts. Okay, like let's keep track of the balances. Before, I was only just doing the balances at the beginning of the year, going the whole year, and then figuring out what the balances were at the end of the year. Again, like you're paying and paying and paying, and you feel like you're not making any progress, even though it looks like you're making progress, but you're not making progress. So I was like, okay, let's track this monthly and see what's happening. So we can see like the My Perks account, I started with $733. I made a $230 payment on the 5th of January. That took me down to $503. I made another $50 payment, took me down to $453. And at the end of every month, so the first of the following month, I go on and I write down what the balances are on these cards. And I was like, what the heck? It's 211. Okay, so I'm saying 453, but the actual amount's 211. Perks is a card that I do use for everyday spending. So from what I can see is 200 of that balance would have been my everyday spending, and it just kind of got joined into it. My bad. I thought that I had that handled at the beginning of January, but apparently I didn't. So, yay for me. I have to worry about $200 less. So that gets us into February. Again, with all the medical and that, I was too afraid to make the extra payments that I normally do. So I only made $40. So we can see big difference, 230 and 250, that's 280 versus 40. So that there's a big difference between what I paid in January and February. But again, that takes me down to 171. Okay? But I go on March 1st and the balance is only 120. So I'm like, what the heck, man? But, I'd rather it go down, like mysteriously go down, instead of mysteriously going up. So, yeah. So I'm working with 120 right now. I did make a $70 payment, which now leaves me with only $50. But though, like I said, like I used that card for spending, so one of the tasks I have for this upcoming week is to use a different card for the next 7 days just to see what that account averages out to. Because for all I know, it could be paid off. It could be paid off right now and I wouldn't even know. So I gotta wait 7 days to wait until this stupid balance goes to 0. But the good news is that, the Perks card should be paid off by the end of next week, if everything goes as planned. Another thing that I did add on to this page is, like I said, I'm writing down all of the balances for the first of the upcoming month, and like Perks is the funniest one to me because the amount is just ever changing. But we can see, like, even though I'm making I make a little bit over the minimum payment, but basically all these other accounts are minimum payments. This is where you start to see how interest affects your minimum payment. Because some of these cards I'm really only getting like $30 paid towards my actual balance, but like 70, let's say that I pay 100 per month. 30 of it's going towards the balance, 70 of it's going towards interest, which is ridiculous. Like we can see Mercury only had like a $20 change. And I swear Mercury is one of the ones that I pay. I feel like that's like 100 a month. Where are you at? Where are you at, Mercury? Yeah, 140. Okay, so no, that's Merrick. Okay, so yeah, Merrick is $55. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. So out of the $55, um, 20 of it, so half of my payment is going towards the balance, which still isn't ideal, but you know, it's better than Mercury's the one. Um, so yeah, he gets 140 a month. We can see that was 100, so let's round that to 60. So yeah, 40 of my 140 goes towards the balance, okay? I am losing $100 every month by having a balance on Mercury. Um, let's see here. What do we have? So we had the balance transfer, so that's why Discover turned into Ally. I ran out of space, so I couldn't add any more accounts. The PSECU, okay, so this is a low interest card. So I am making $100 payment, so technically it should have been a 166 here, but it's a 174, so that's that like 3 to 4%, so it does still make a difference, but not as big of a difference that we see with the merit card. Yeah. So I am tracking the overall number I have of the total debt that I have. So that's another big thing that I changed for this year, and it has been quite insightful there. Last but not least here, we have the holidays page. Again, I am a seasonal spender, guys. And oh, the whole spring is coming near, and the St. Patrick's Day and all of that. It is starting to nip at me. I do want to start buying spring things, but I'm trying my best not to buy the spring things. I'm trying to use what I have, and I just keep telling myself like I need the money to pay this stuff off, guys. I do. So I can use last year's decorations and still enjoy the seasons, you know? So kind of hoping to leave that blank. Would be nice if I could write no spend on seasonal stuff for March. That would be wonderful. And that's basically how I'm keeping track of the seasonal spender here. Yeah, the little girl stickers, they do make the page a lot better. Just a quick review until we get into the month of March. Basically, this is the overviews that they give you. You can see I pack a lot into these 2 pages here. Again, this is the monthly habit that I do track every month, and it is to only charge what you can cover. Very naughty for the month of January. There was 4 times. We can see there was a lot of online spending, but the good news is that I did get a lot of these things paid off. Again, each block is $10. It just, for me, being somebody who likes to see things visually, this makes paying off the large purchases and that a lot easier because you can actually see the progress you're making towards paying those things off. Again, the monthly layouts, which I'll get more into this once we get into March, but it just gives you a nice little glance at some of the weeks that we have covered. This is still probably one of my favorite ones. I just love the color palette on it. And again, you get that nice January review, monthly review. And again, there's a lot packed onto these. I did not have this with the daily planner, so we can see January was a lot better. I only overspent for 1 day out of the month, so that was nice. And again, I think a lot of that goes with all of the doctor visits, the dentist visits, just because I was a little more hesitant on spending. We can see that the online orders were a lot less, a little bit more controlled. Again, we got things paid off. And again, just a quick glimpse of what the weeklies turn out to. So we got some journaling, we have keeping track of the spending, keeping track of the bills, keeping track of the me time, the bills that are due for the week. So, oh, and the emotions of the day. So, yeah, I am packing a lot into these weekly layouts. Again, we have the February review, and the memorable moments is probably the hardest thing for me to fill out just because it is budgeting and financial related. But I do like all of the areas where I can sit and think about like what made budgeting and saving money and paying off the debts easier, what added to the stress, what could have caused me to overspend. So yeah. And of course, keeping track of where we actually spend our monies for the month. And that gets us to wonderful March, guys. And again, I'm going to take a quick break just for ease of tracking the chapters, but I will be right back. Alrighty, so we're moving right into March, and I do feel like there's been a lot added onto this page since we met last week. uh, it's I guess March comes in like a lion, out like a lamb. We have definitely felt the lion. So again, the boundary that I'm setting for myself this month is with spring right around the corner. My boundary is to keep a close eye on my seasonal spending. That's seasonal clothing, seasonal decorations, seasonal treats. I tend to get a little overboard when it comes to seasonal things. So, so far, I've been good on that aspect. Again, the priority for the month, and again, some of the stickers don't want to stick, but the priority is 'tis the month for taxes. I need to submit and file as soon as the rest of the paperwork arrives. Still waiting. And of course, any funds after my payment go towards the new car funds because, as you can see, the car has decided to start detonating this year. I really do need to replace it, but I will not get another vehicle until I know I'm financially set to get another vehicle. We have learned in the past. We are not doing that again. Again, they ask you to do the 3 ways that you can carve out self-care. Again, I do like making this list because they are the easy go-tos for that month instead of thinking, about like, oh, what am I going to do? Like now they're like right out front and center. So I really do need to finish my Starry Night painting. I was hitting at that pretty hard yesterday, so may actually have that done by the end of the month. I did return to tanning. I was off of it for 2 months, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Does this one cost money? This is probably one of the only self-care activities I do that costs me money, but I figured I've been off for 2 months. And it just gives me a boost of energy, guys. It does. It improves my mood like no tomorrow. So yeah, we did return to that. The extra reading time because I do have a really good book series. So yeah, again going through the books. So the intentions that I have for the month, the milestones that I'm focusing on, again that goal page that we saw earlier. So yeah, again, I'm frustrated because I can't believe that I'm still working on the perks account. Like, that thing should have been paid off a long time ago. But again, we got all those other things paid off too. But yeah, perks really does need to go away this month. I am tired of talking about it. And again, I want to keep working on those store cards as well. Michael's, to me, is the target one for the month of March. I just want to get rid of that as well. And again, we are working on only charge what you can cover, because you know it gives you less debt to worry about. Yeah, yeah. So we can see this is how the month of March is going. They weren't really choices, guys. They weren't. So, yeah. So, again, I keep the list of the do we really need these? HP photo paper has been here since the first week of January. I probably should take a look at that and see how much I have left, but no, I did not need to buy it in January. I am still rocking with my supply that I have. The collagen is a must. I'm definitely going to need, again, to look at my stock just to make sure that, you know, I have what I need. The SB vitamins as well. Transmission cooler. Yes, I did need one of those, so we did get one of those. That was one of the charges. We can see that the transmission was put on the perks card, and I do have it set to where I make a certain payment every 2 weeks, I believe. Every 2 weeks, and it's interest free as long as I pay the perks card. So yeah, so we got that handled, but again, guys, I got to look at it this way. I thought I needed a whole new transmission. Turns out I only needed a transmission cooler, which came out to $136. That's a lot better than the $2,000 to $4,000 that I was expecting. So yeah, I lucked out there. Tanning. Do I really need the tanning? No, but it does definitely boost my mood, and when my mood is crappy, I spend more, so in a weird way, I am saving money by going tanning. We do have tanning on Chase, which again is 0%. So yeah, each time I go tan, I did buy a tanning package. It is cheaper that way, but at the same time, you know, it's 0%, so each time I go, I put $10 towards it. So I'm not really concerned about that. It allows me to tan over time without adding interest to the, you know, credit debt. Okay, tanning lotion. That's the next one that I'm asking myself. I still have some, so I'm not buying it until I run out. Today's adventure is going to be bath fixtures. Yeah, the fixtures in the shower are leaking. Of course, it's hot water and not cold water, so now I'm seeing the energy bill and water bill, you know, running up higher than normal in front of my eyes. So yeah, I'm probably taking a trip to Lowe's today, so bath fixtures is probably going to be added on here. Yay me, right? But you know, life happens. Life happens, guys. You can see that again with the, you know, little payment trackers. We've already discussed the transmission. Again, I'm working on storage for Michael's. Paper on perks. I did purchase sticker paper for my sticker shop. I'm still waiting for the funds to transfer over from my fund savings, or yeah, from my fund savings, from my my shop savings. It's a completely separate account, but once those transfer over, that is going to cover that cost. Again, it's one of those things of where it takes like 7 to 10 days. So yeah, those are funds we really don't access often, but again, that was one of the X's. Actually, all four of these are X's, you know, so yeah, I know this was the paper. This was, yeah, transmission, paper, tanning, and car insurance. See? So again, this really does make it easier to where I can just look at this and say, oh, you know, that's where I have overspent. We went over the tanning on Chase, the car insurance on Chase. Normally I would pay the car insurance each month, But again, since I have the 0%, which is not just for balance transfers, it's for purchases too, the way I saw it is I basically pay for like 4 months of the car insurance, which is what I was paying monthly, and I get 2 months for free. So I'm just putting 50 towards it each month, so it does reduce how much I spend each month, but at the same time, I'm spending less in total. So that's the other one that I added. And of course, the online orders. So we only got 2 for the month still, so that's good. That's good for me. Okay, so moving into the monthly layout, again, that's where we're seeing that $5 a day savings goal. That's what I call the daily. So we made the first, what I call the payment towards that. I just treat it like a bill. I am keeping track of the balances on the store cards on the sidebar as well. And again, I create a little ledger so that I can quickly see the differences in the types of bills or loans, the transactions, and that. So the main thing I want to get across with keeping a monthly layout for your budgeting is especially good and beneficial if you get paid bi-weekly. Again, I try to keep one of these close to me when I'm filming. I tried many years to use one of these. First off, I think you could quickly see I have more bills than what would fit on this. So, right there, it didn't work out. The other thing, which it took me to do the monthly layout to realize, is I have bills, that need paid before the first payday of March occurs. So technically, it doesn't really matter what I make in the month of March to cover March, because part of March is getting covered from February. So what I like to do with this is I just go from pay period to pay period. So we can see from the 7th to the 20th, I need to cover all of these items with this pay. Anything that rolls over from this pay and this pay covers these. And basically, if I could cover all of those, plus my daily expenses, I have survived. Now, there was a time of where I did not have enough funds to cover all of this with that one pay. That is scary. It's not a good time. So the only way I was able to do it is, like, yeah, you do have to use a credit card to cover your daily expenses, which of course adds up debt, but you do not want a late fee for these. Another thing that I did is I started calling up each of the accounts and asking them if they could move the payday, or the day that the bill was due, if they could move it to the next pay period, just so that I would get some breathing room. So that did help. But yeah, the main mission is trying to eliminate as many of these as possible, which I do list all of them. Even if there isn't a balance, I still list them just so that I can see them. At one time, all of these had a balance, which is not fun. But like we can see, like the 2 PayPal accounts have X's. I do not owe anything on those. The Lowe's and Victoria's Secret, again, paid off. Lowe's may have a balance next month. JCP, nothing. Capital P, nothing. Capital Q normally is a nothing, but he had the annual fee this month. So again, that's another reason why I keep everybody on here. Just because you may get a sneaky charge on the card that you're not expecting. It just helps me keep track of what's actually going on with all of the accounts. Whew! Guys, we've made it to the weekly. Okay, so to explain what's going on in my weekly layouts here is I do a weekly focus as, like, okay, with the upcoming week, what are we going to focus on? What I noticed first was Discover is due for this week, And I was like, okay, you've balance transferred it. Let's get on there. Let's see what's actually due on this thing. And it turns out I had a balance of 81.18. So paid that, got that out of there. Now I know Discover is $0. There's one less account I gotta look at. The intention for the month would have been to lower the perks balance. Again, I'm not going to be able to pay it off like I did with Discover. I could have paid the perks off and left the Discover go, but again, I'm not taking the late charge. So again, Discover was the higher priority for the week. But we did get the perks balance paid a little bit. I put 70 towards it. Again, that thing could be sitting at $0 right now. I don't know. That one has a mystery balance. Again, I take all of the bills from the week, from the monthly here, and I list them on this weekly to-do. So we made sure everybody got the attention that they deserved. I do keep the general mood of the day. Again, that just helps me keep track of like how my emotions, how how I'm feeling for the day. How does that affect what I spend? A lot of the times, if I see that I'm feeling pretty good, like the optimistic, or pretty bad, like the annoyed, I will have spending differences when those start arriving. But I really think I had a handle on it this week. Again, I keep track of all of the transactions. If you see one of these, that means it was put on the charge card, but it got paid. Anything just with a regular dash that's straight out of the bank account. I do separate the average spending versus the bills. Just because bills are things you don't really have a choice. These are choices, these are not. And again, I do keep areas for journaling. So again, I was trying to go with the quotes on the stickers here. And Monday, like I said, I was just feeling pretty good, but that's probably because of the whole transmission thing. So I was like, oh man, Lady Luck's on my side. So I was like, you know what? I'm just doing it. I've been talking for probably like the last 6 months about reintroducing paper stickers to my Etsy shop. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the paper. If I have the paper, I'm going to make the stickers. And if I have the stickers, I'm going to list them. So I just went ahead and ordered the sticker paper. Let's see here, the checklist. I had no idea what to do with this, but it actually turned out to be quite beneficial again. I just reminded myself, make sure you have all the bills paid up until the next payday. I paid off Discover, the stupid capital Q, annual fee. And I know a lot of yins are like, why do you still have the card if there's an annual fee? Because it's my oldest account. If I was to get rid of that card, my credit score would take a big hit just because I'd be losing the time that I've had that card. So I do pay the stupid $39 every year to keep the crappy card. One day my other accounts will be old enough and I'll be able to close that stupid thing. Let's see here. We had raised cleaning funds for the month. I got to transfer those. I did save money by purchasing the 6-month car insurance instead of choosing to pay it monthly. And I did reward myself with the mini tanning package. That was one of the things that I had to figure out. Like, do I want to do this? Do I not? And the answer was yes. Yes, I did. Okay, what else do we got going on here? Again, I'm making that perks payment throughout the week because it is my spending card. This is my explanation as to why I put the car insurance into TANs on the Chase card. Again, it does have 0% for all purchases, so I do get to purchase the things that I want. Notice want. But it eliminates the act of adding interest onto it. So again, I got to make a little payoff plan for those things, but I did get those. Again, I keep track of, if monies and that are coming in and out of the accounts. What else do we got going on here? A lot. I'm scanning through all the purchases. Again, that's that $70 extra payment to perks. This payment is what was actually going onto the card. Like we can see the electric, Wonderium. These ones are not crossed out yet just because the payment was made on Saturday. The perks account will not let me make another payment until Monday, so unfortunately these guys gotta wait. But the good news is I do have the funds in the account. Yeah, and last night when I was painting, but I had to take a break to let the paint dry before I could move on to the next one, I got this grand idea that I was feeling pretty freaking lucky, you know, happy-go-lucky, and somebody decided to put $20 towards the lottery. Not the smartest choice. Um, but yeah, no, I'm normally not drawn to lottery games. I find them to be stupid, but yeah, I just felt compelled to play. I just felt like, yeah, today's my lucky day. I did not spend all 20. I still have, well, I did make some. What is it? You spent 20, you got $20, which gave me 40, so I still have $35 in the balance. But I mean, I should not have put $20 towards the lottery, guys. I shouldn't have, but I did. So yeah, like I said, like whenever I'm feeling really good or really annoyed, that's where we will see the weird spending. So that's again why I track my daily mood. And again, I keep track of the me times that I do during the day because, again, those are ways, without the tanning excluded, but these are ways that I can enjoy my time, you know, enjoy life without spending money. We can see that, like, Sunday still is not completed, but that is because, like I said, I got a feeling I got a trip to Lowe's coming up. And can't wait to see what a bathtub fixture repair costs. But that's it. Like we can see like next week is ready to go. Pretty much have all the bills covered for this week, which is nice. That means I'm heading into next week pretty much half done. And again, the whole debt payoff thing, again, we're still working on perks, but it is looking a lot better. I add in notes, like I did move Discover on to Ally, and I keep track of 1 to 0%, you know, it becomes eliminated or the agreement is no more. Um, Again, I opened up that care credit account for dental needs, which I'm still waiting on the bills. And of course, my handmade debtors payoff. Again, each block is $10. It's not the exact amount, but I mean, guys, I really don't see me paying $15,000 for the year, so I doubt that I will get to the top of this. But it just makes it a little bit easier to get a visual of how much I am paying towards these accounts for the year. So we can see PSECU is the next one to get paid. I already got the squares drawn out. Now I just got to color them in when that payment's made. And I mean, I really want to start making 3 full rows for each of the months, but right now it seems like 2. 2 seems to be what, man, February did. Oh, no. No, February did suck. See, this is the first visual because I still have this spot right here if I bring Ally down. So I didn't even get 2 rows for February. So February was a light month. Um, I really need to pick up on that. So again, that's why I like doing the visual reminders because it's the fastest way to see how your payments are going for each month. So, with that, guys, I am going to close out. I feel like that's all I can really say for this week's review. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more budget reviews.